I actually do a quick little video on knife scales, cutting knife scales. As if any of you know, if you've tried making a knife and you don't have access to a bandsaw, buying bits of nice hardwood in thin little slivers is near impossible. I've bought pen blanks before, but you're limited to normally about 20-25 mm square by about 100 mm long, 150 mm long. You can buy bowl blanks, which is what I've done. So you can buy wood that's cut to size for other purposes. Therefore, you find it slightly cheaper. In the wood turning world, there's quite a following of people who turn wooden bowls. Therefore, you get blocks of wood cut in decent sizes at decent prices. I recently attended Maker Central in Birmingham, a great big maker fair at the NEC. First of the kind in the UK, absolutely incredible weekend. And being quite a wood turning, heavily orientated expo, there was quite a lot of wood suppliers there, resin suppliers and tool makers, manufacturers and crafters of every kind. But that's for another video. So I picked up a few chunks of hardwood from various suppliers, so I won't go naming names, but first up I got a big lump of umbelo. I don't know the history of any of these woods, I don't know where they come from, their properties. I just purely went on how they looked. So excuse the lighting in here. So this came as a bowl blank, sorry. So this was around so big, I'd say about 130 centimeters by about 100, by about 50 mil thick, 60 mil thick. In fact, it says it right there, 100 square by 50 mil. Even got the price, £3.10. With that, I set the bandsaw to about 5 millimeters and just started slithering away. If you've got a guide or a fence on your bandsaw, it's quite a good handy way to cut nice consistent thicknesses. But as I recently found out, because before now trying to cut little scales like this, my blades waved all over the place and I've had some absolutely horrendous outcomes. But chatting to a guy at Maker Central, there was a company there, I believe, called Hamilton and Beaverstock Limited. Now they sold, I don't know if they manufactured, but they sold bandsaw blades of pretty much every tooth size and gauge and machine size. So me and my brother, who have the same bandsaw, just quite a small little Einhell, picked up a blade. He recommended a slightly deeper gauge blade to prevent the wobbling, and whilst changing, I've actually come across a couple of little extra adjustments. So I've given it a little tweak, and it holds the blade nice and still, which helps create these incredibly straight cuts. So that being said, I got a few slithers of the umbelo. These are all also book matched. So if I let's cut this down the middle. If I open this up for you, in the middle, it's like a bit like a butterfly. You know, when you get a piece of paper, fold it over, put some paint on, fold it. So both of the sides, pretty much all bar about 2 millimeters of the thickness of the blade. They match up there. So that's the umbelo. If you know how to pronounce it and I pronounce it wrong, please let me know, because I haven't got a clue. Slivers of big thin slivers, nice wide 50mm thin slivers of oak. This is a great big slab that I previously used as a bit of a sanding block, so that's what the black is. That's just residue from wetting some wet and dry paper. But it's a nice big solid chunk of oak. Picked this up from a local joinery company who manufacture hardwood window frames and doors and bits and pieces, and asked if I could have a little rummage in their scrap bin. This told me to help myself. I only picked up what I could carry, so I've got quite a few chunks of this. As you can see, I've taken off, there's enough there to make possibly 4 knives worth, maybe more. And that's probably only about 30mm of what's left, so there's quite a bit there. Again, the oak's quite a simple grain pattern. There's not much going on, but it is nice. I do really like it, especially this stuff. Again, don't know too much about grains and technicalities, but I go by what I like, and that's what a lot of people buy as well. They buy by what they like. Something else I picked up in Maker Central was this great big, heavy, solid lump of Pal Rosa. Again, I believe that's South American for rose pine, possibly. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is just comes what's printed on it, Pal Rosa. So it came as a 50mm by 50mm by 30cm bar, if you like. And I've been happily cutting some slices down out of this. This has got an absolutely incredible grain. Again, I've never heard of this one before. It's a slightly red wood, but apart from the layer that was on the outside, once I cut a few slices open, there's some nice lighter, almost yellow ranges in there as well. And if that was sanded up to a nice, I don't know, 400-600 with some nice lacquer on there, some oil, I think that would look quite special. So yeah, watch this space. Oh, hang on, a bit more. I had some curly birch, some finished curly birch, which come all the way from Finland. Brought it back myself, which is a beautiful wood. I don't know if you've ever seen it. This doesn't really do it much justice because it's got, you can see the bandsaw marks on there, but there really is some incredible, almost like eyes going through it. One's not, or one pair should I say, isn't a great match for equality there, but it was the end piece, so I just cut it open. I'll try to slice my hand. And this is on the inside of the curly birch. Again, it has really quite a beautiful finish, especially when it's book matched like this. I've made a knife or two with book matched curly birch, normally featuring from a certain point. So if there's a knot and it flares out, which you can kind of see from there to there. Yeah, if I turn it that way. See what I mean? So you could have a knife handle coming up there, and either side you'll have pretty much the same grain matching. And that's some curly birch. So I've had a bit of that lying around. Got a few little odds and sods of it knocking about. Bolsters and things, I don't know. They'll come in handy one day. I also have some, not using this blade rather, I have some Purple Heart, which my last attempt of cutting some scales, as you can see here, got quite heavily burnt by the blunt blade, hence the black and the scorching on the wood there. In my frustration, I just ripped the last part open, as you can see there, and that was that put the bandsaw in the back seat for a little while until I got around to picking up a new blade, which I did. Anyway, yeah, so watch the space for more bits and pieces. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.